Two wrongs don't make a right. But at the time, I really thought they did. I remember thinking, she's done all this messed up stuff to me, so why should I care anymore? She cheated on me. What, during a break? It still felt like cheating. I told myself I was done. But it wasn't just the cheating. It was who she did it with. That's what really broke me. I never got over it. I just finished my third drink of the night, and now I'm just spinning. A dizzy, broken dot floating in the mess we made. We told y'all this wasn't just another breakup. This is a saga, a soap opera starring a Disney. Golden Girl, a rapper pulled from a YouTube playlist, an influencer caught in the chaos, and an ex who's been shouting, "I told you so" for years. Let's be real. Hi Bailey, yes, that Hi who made us tear up singing Part of Your World is now crying in court filings and unraveling in leaked text so raw you might want to grab a seat and some pearls to clutch. Her ex DDG didn't just break her. Hard! According to Hi, he shattered it, smashed it, walked all over it, then handed the pieces to another woman, a woman named LALA Baptiste. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Standing beside Hi now is none other than DDG's other ex, Ruby Rose. If you follow this roller coaster, then you know. Ruby isn't some bitter ex chasing clout. She came with receipts, screenshots, bruises, warning signs. And last year, nobody listened. Now, her silence is screaming because the court documents DDG just filed are backing up everything she said from day one. And it gets even messier. Ruby has her own history with LALA. Yeah, let that sink in. We'll get to that. But at the heart of this storm is a baby boy named Halle. Let's rewind to where it all cracked open. The cheating accusation that lit the fuse. Hi's text hit like a punch to the gut. Allegedly sent to DDG on March 21st, 2024, just before midnight. I just found out you slept with LA and Mexico. I'm gonna unalive myself tonight. I hate you forever. You can have him. Let her be his mom. The message was frantic, raw and full of pain, littered with typos and emotional panic. And it wasn't the only one. DDG later submitted hundreds of these texts as part of his emergency custody filing. But that last line triggered a full-on digital wildfire. Cause LALA Baptiste wasn't just some girl. She was Hi's biggest insecurity, a content creator, someone once close to DDG. And the reason Hi had allegedly been spiraling for over a year. DDG denied everything. Just to clear the air, he tweeted, "I've never been romantically involved with LALA. Stop spreading that rumor." But the damage was done. The internet exploded, fans torn between heartbreak for Hi and serious concern for her mental health. And the thing is, from Hi's side, it didn't seem baseless. LALA was in Mexico, same dates, same friend group, tagged in the same pool party pics. It looked bad.
I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever. Me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly, started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like, he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic.
In a relationship already drowning in jealousy and trust issues, this was the final blow. LALA tried to put out the flames. She wasn't defensive, just exhausted.
She hit me up, she reached out to me, we had a long conversation about it, things were cleared up, and rightfully so. Like, I didn't even feel any type of way when I found out when she hit me because I understood. I 100% understood. Like I said, I've been in that position.
She admitted that Hi had reached out back then, and they'd had a long talk to clear things up. She never confirmed, but she didn't exactly deny. It ate her. LALA didn't deny what he believed, not really. She didn't confirm it either. All she said was that she understood the paranoia. But for Hi, this wasn't just jealousy. This was rage. This was exhaustion. In one text, she tells DDG she's been crying nonstop, that she tried to compete and lost, that she's drowning and he couldn't care less. I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. You hate me and want me to. I want to because of you. I will because of you. Your son and I are alone. You don't care about us anymore. You never did. DG's response: this literally makes no sense. Maybe she wasn't making sense. Or maybe she was making perfect sense. Because this was never just about LALA. She was a symbol, a representation of every woman he felt she could never measure up to. And DDG's ex, Ruby Rose, warned her, warned all of us, really. Back in 2023, Ruby exposed DDG for sliding into her DMs while he was still publicly loved up with Halle. She posted a simple message that shook everything. "This is why I'm single." People dragged her for it, called her bitter, messy, desperate. But now, her screenshots are evidence, and her silence speaks louder than anything she ever posted. Those old receipts are now part of a much bigger picture. A custody battle, a restraining order, a baby boy named Halle caught in the middle of it all. Ruby's name
cheated on me.
What?
On a break. She did something.
That's cheating, I'm not gonna
But it
lie.
was just the dude it was with that f***ed me up, right? I never got over it.
isn't in the court documents, but her ghost is, because Ruby knew exactly what Halle was stepping into. Let's rewind. Ruby Rose and DDG were a train wreck of a couple in 2021, on again, off again, toxic and very public. In many ways, Ruby was the one who gave DDG that industry glow up. She had the buzz, the beauty, the clout, but she also had the bruises. Allegedly in now deleted tweets, Ruby hinted at abuse. "He hit me and then cried. I stayed. No girl deserves to be in love and afraid at the same time." She never said his name, but fans connected the dots fast, especially after she posted a photo of her bruised arm. The dates lined up perfectly with their last big breakup. When DDG moved on to Hollywood, people were stunned. From club dates to Disney red carpets, it felt like a whole new chapter. But Ruby? She never stopped watching. And in early 2023, just when DDG was trying to play Prince Charming to Hai's Disney princess, Ruby lit the fairy tale on fire. She posted a DM from DDG. "You still in LA?" He was still very much with Hai at the time. Sorry. Internet touring to Ruby called her a clout chaser, but then she posted threats from DDG. "I get you're mad, but I'm telling you, Ruby, I'm not in LA. I'm going to fuck your whole career up. Don't do it to yourself." It hit different. People started to listen because Ruby had already lived this same cycle. The gaslighting, the cheating, the manipulation. And now, a year later, Hai was echoing her exact same pain. But Ruby didn't gloat. That's the haunting part. She went quiet. And that silence? It was louder than any "I told you so." Because when Hai filed for a restraining order and dropped photos of bruises, a chipped tooth, and violent text arguments, it felt like deja vu. Ruby had tried to warn her, but back then, Halle saw her as a jealous ex trying to wreck her happiness. Now the monster was real, and this time there was a child involved. If Ruby spoke up now, it wouldn't be to bash DDG, it would be to stand with Hai, not out of spite, but out of survival. And here's where the drama turns Shakespearean. Ruby and LALA have history. Too. Back in 2021, Ruby was dating rapper Lil Che. A messy relationship full of ups, downs, and online chaos. But when things fell apart, they really fell
Make it right. At the time, I felt that it did. I was like, she's done all this stuff to me. Like, I don't give a anymore.
Because LALA Baptiste, who was close to Ruby at the time, started dating Che. Immediately after the breakup.
Her ex-boyfriend, I was dating the guy. We didn't know each other. But there's a narrative that like, oh, every guy she was with, I just...
Right.
And that I just want to clear that narrative up.
Right.
That is not true. And just like behind the scenes, there was so many things that we did to each other. Like, it just got to a point we were always on and off. Like, we were damn near in a toxic relationship.
The streets say she was already messing with him before Ruby and Jay even ended. Ruby didn't play it cool. She fired off a shady tweet calling LALA a snake and unfollowed her everywhere. And recently, LALA admitted it. She said she did take Jay from Ruby and did it intentionally to get back at her. So yeah, it's all connected. This isn't just a love triangle. It's a map of betrayal, a loop of pain passed from woman to woman while the man at the center moves on untouched. And now, that loop includes a baby, Halle, and that changes everything. LALA tried to put the fire out. She insisted she wasn't into stealing all of Ruby's exes. In her words, she didn't sleep with DDG. But even in her denial, the awkwardness lingered. She said, "Still, imagine how wild it must feel for Ruby seeing me caught up again, this time in the downfall of DDG. And y'all, you can't make this stuff up. Even LALA could feel the heat." She emphasized she's over the drama, not that girl anymore. But the internet, it remembers because it never forgets. And Ruby, she never deleted her receipts. What makes this entire situation so painful to watch is how deeply it's layered in betrayal. Ruby tried to warn Halle, she really did. But Halle didn't listen. She called Ruby the devil. Now, Ruby's name keeps getting dragged back into court filings like a ghost haunting the whole story. One user tweeted, "Ruby Rose, we truly tried to warn her. Her breaking isn't her. Our fault, but she should have known." When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because if another woman already said, "He did this to me," why believe you'd be any different? And maybe Ruby is more than a warning. Maybe she's the blueprint for this entire spiral, like a prophecy Halle couldn't escape. Now DG is painting Halle as unstable, paranoid, and violent. And it sounds eerily familiar. Remember when Ruby tweeted, "He hit me and cried, said, he loved me, I stayed." Now it's Halle telling the court nearly the same story. Only this time, there's a baby in the middle, and the stakes have never been higher. On May 29th, 2024, DDG filed for emergency custody of their son, Halo, in a Los Angeles courthouse. His claims were explosive, that Hal was
fighting back by saying, and she has violence issues, or she has health issues.
Unstable, unsafe, spiraling, and that Halo needed protection. He didn't come empty-handed. His filing included over 160 pages of screenshots, photos, and alleged voice recordings. That's why some of the text went public. DDG alleges that Halle threatened to harm herself, and their child sent hundreds of emotional, erratic messages, damaged his property, physically attacked him multiple times. He described her as unraveling, emotionally volatile, consumed by jealousy, and desperate for validation. One alleged message read, "You flirt with every woman in the world but me. Go back to the type you're used to. You never wanted someone like me." It didn't stop there. He says she showed up uninvited to his house, tracked his car using a Hello Kitty pet tracker, left threatening voicemails, slashed his clothes, and even vandalized his car during an emotional outburst. DDG says he feared for his safety, and more importantly, for Halo's. In the restraining order request, he claimed Halle posed an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their son. He accused her of threatening to hide or take Halo, using him as a pawn in emotional warfare. He asked the court for full custody immediately and requested Halle only have supervised visitation until she received psychiatric treatment. But here's the twist. The court didn't grant full custody, not yet. Instead, they scheduled a full hearing, and just when DDG thought he had the final word, Halle Bailey walked into that courtroom on June 3rd like it was a red table talk moment. Calm, composed, and ready for war. Miss Little Mermaid came armed with her own version of events, and she wasn't going down without a fight. Intro music fades in softly. So, Halle Bailey filed for a restraining order and temporary full custody of baby Halo. And let's just say, the fairy tale is over. Because behind those Disney curls and angelic vocals is a woman who's done now being played. According to Halle, DDG has been spiraling for years, and she finally got tired of sweeping it under the rug. She came to court with photos, bruises, a chipped tooth, smashed phones, holes in the wall, receipts that scream a different story than the one he's been posting on socials. And then came the incident that made everybody's stomach turn. Back in early 2024, Halle says she caught DDG texting other women again. When she confronted him, everything exploded. She said, "At one point, Daryl was pulling my hair. He slammed my face on the steering wheel and my tooth chipped. I stopped fighting. I was in pain. I wanted to leave with Halo, but I was stuck. And yet, she stayed. She wanted to believe he loved her. She wanted Halo to have a family. But another time when she tried to leave, Dick cornered her while she was holding their baby. Halo was crying. I was begging him to stop calling me a BT Shaish. I didn't feel safe. I asked when he'd bring Halo back. He wouldn't answer. That was the breaking point. That's when she started documenting everything. Her words? I wasn't unstable. I was scared. Period. And about that AirTag situation, DDG tried to twist it like it was some Fatal Attraction mess. But Halle set the record straight. Yeah, I tracked the car, but only because he left with our baby and disappeared for hours. I didn't know where my son was. Any mother would have. done the same. And those texts where she said, you can have full custody, she owned it. Said she was exhausted, manipulated, drowning in postpartum depression with no support. I was overwhelmed, but I didn't mean
doing from someone that I loved.
Oh, and how did you do that?
I cried every day till I stopped feeling the pain.
Oh, don't say that, Chloe.
it. I love my son more than anything, but it gets pettier and more painful. They tried to act like he was the victim of property damage. Halle didn't deny it, but she explained. She snapped after he called her crazy, mocked her postpartum body, and told her she wasn't sexy anymore. Let's be real, it's always these weird little boys critiquing women's bodies like they're qualified. And it gets nastier, Halle included. Screenshots of DDG flirting with other girls while she was breastfeeding. She found lingerie in his bathroom. That wasn't hers. Probably from one of the IG girls he's always double tapping. With the same fingers he claims are for family, maybe the cheating isn't confirmed. But the disrespect was screaming through the Wi-Fi. And now fans are asking, where's Chloe? Where's Mama Bailey? Where's the village? Because this is no longer just a messy breakup. It's a family matter, and folks are hoping Chloe Bailey, our big sis, Beyonce protege, and certified chart-topping baddie, steps in with a little heart emoji or subtle shade. Cause if anyone knows what Halle's endured behind closed doors, it's her. And don't be shocked if Mama Bailey herself logs on with a quiet "we stand with you" that sets the internet on fire. So, what did the judge say? Well, no bombshell yet. The court denied both emergency custody requests and ordered them into co-parenting therapy. Halo stays with Halle for now, but officially it's still joint custody. Trust, DDG isn't backing down. He told the court he's prepping more evidence, allegedly including footage of Halle yelling at Halo, and claims she made disturbing threats. At this point, it feels less like a custody hearing and more like a cage match. Not a parenting plan, but a public power struggle.